What is that something you'd like to pursue?
Absolutely.
Some of the, I know Minneapolis and Golden Valley have odd year elections.
Yes,
this year, and I mean,
Golden Valley, cities around our 5th congressional district, which is again something when BPOUs are built up or Senate districts are built up, they have the volunteers and the staff out there to help these local nonpartisan candidates. And Minneapolis in particular has a very strong candidate who just announced when R.T. Ryback said, "I'm not running again." And so now it's an open seat. It's nonpartisan, similar to what Crystal was, a nonpartisan race. What I found when we went door knocking and handing out literature, people would look at that and say, I like this. I like what he stands for, he or she. And we won Crystal Mayor as a result. It was a nonpartisan race. So we do have this brand issue right now with an R next to our name, which in time will be overcome. When we build up our farm team, we get these local seats won, people can see us by our record, and they will vote accordingly as we run for higher office. Exactly.
Right. So building bench strength is an important function that the congressional district can promote. Now, a lot of the work, again, is done at the very local level in the Senate districts, in the cities, and so on. But I think some support, coordination, can be provided from the 5th Congressional District itself that would help us be more successful in the campaigns that, that are run.
And when everyone's working together, we build that team, we get our people elected, everybody wins. It's not about punishing a group of older activists because they didn't agree with them on a policy issue. This is about building us up, that we can all unite. There's something we can all agree on, and unite behind that candidate and help them win. Because losing on principle is still losing. You know?
Well, and the other thing is, and I've found is, we've spent a lot of time fighting each other.
Yes.
That's an issue at CD5. I've noticed a Minneapolis suburb. I've always felt like the suburbs in Minneapolis were always acted as opposites. I mean,
yeah, there's some difference of personality, culture, whatever, within the limits of Minneapolis, as opposed to the near suburbs, even.
They must be riding light rail or something. We've got to get them off that light
rail.
We
can be united by light rail, not.
Well, let me ask kind of a technical question. How is one of the things in CD5 is also helping statewide candidates?
Yes, we have big state elections coming up. We have governor, we have secretary of state. Wouldn't it be great?
An auditor, U.S. senator.
Yes.
So one of the things I know that when I've talked to we lost some tough statewide races in 2010, and a lot of it was, had we pulled 1 or 2 more % out of
the 5th, and especially.
It would have put us over the top.
Absolutely.
Is that another
There may not have been a recount in 2010 had we had a strong organization to build that vote up.
The point being, it's not just the CD5 candidate, Congressional District 5. It's not the House and the Senate, but Congressional District 5 influences state races as well, and sometimes that perspective is lost.
Absolutely, and if you talk about 2012, where the state party had endorsed Kurt Bills, once that endorsement was made, I personally went to the Kurt Bills campaign and asked about how CD5 was organized to assist his campaign, because I thought that would be important. I mean, CD5's pretty big.
Yeah, you'd think so.
Yeah. Basically, it was met with a blank stare. There was
his campaign.
I can't even remember much of any visible presence of Kurt Bills within CD5 during the campaign.
Was that because the organization wasn't there to get him out into the public, or
that's a big part of it?
Did he just think we were like, why bother?
No. I believe all statewide candidates understand the CD5 is a key district.
Correct. It is, absolutely.
And to have essentially no activity on the part of a statewide candidate in 2012, I believe, made a difference in that campaign.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So he had no group there to help him get into that Minneapolis. When we talk about having to pull another couple percent.
Well, and there was a strong group that got him endorsed out of CD5.
Then what happened?
Nothing. After the endorsement, and Kurt Bills was endorsed at the state convention, there was no follow-through on the part of CD5.
And I can attest to that. When I went to the state fair and I visited Kurt's booth a few times, the people who were there were the same 10 people who were there when I went to Tom Emmer's booth. And,
right.
2 years before, it was the normal people picking up the pieces for all the act. And I think one thing that people have got to understand too, just to make a blanket statement, the activism in politics never stops. There really is not an off season. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You can't just say, well, there's no election this year, so there's nothing to do. Everything, for being involved in about 4 or 5 election cycles that I've been in, everything that you have in the even year, you got in the odd year. Whether that's lists of people, voter ID type things, mm-hmm. whether you have to lay the groundwork for fundraising, for raising a campaign staff. That doesn't start in July of the even year. That
Correct.
Starts, people who want to run next year are starting now.
Just like the mayor of Minneapolis. As soon as R.T. Ryback announced he wasn't running again and it's an open seat, first mm-hmm. open seat in I think 30 years, if I'm remembering what Cam said.
I don't remember.
And what an awesome opportunity, but we have to have our groups built up in order to help him. We also this year, just this month, have elected new leadership in our different House and Senate districts around CD5. So we've got a lot of new people who are may have just come into being a new chair or a new deputy chair, and they said, now what do I do? So this is a great example and an opportunity for us in CD5, which in the Constitution it still says we're supposed to be supporting these Senate districts. This is our time now to help these new chairs, to help these new delegates and potential candidates to get them trained and fired up and ready to go.
Well, sounds like a lot of stuff.
A lot to do, and I'm willing to do it. I am willing to jump in and start.
Well, Nancy, why don't you give, since the show's flying by here, why don't you tell people where we can find you on the web?
Oh, great.
On Facebook and tweetering and all that stuff.
Tweetering?
Tweetering. I got it. I have a Twitter.
Tweet. I know you tweet.
I do tweet a little bit, but not much. It's not quite my thing.
Yeah.
He's teetering on Twitter.
Yeah, right, exactly. The tweeter-totter.
Yeah, there you go.
He's starting one character at a time.
Yeah,
that's right. Well, thank you again for having me on and letting me introduce myself. I have a website, nancyforcd5.com. I also am on Twitter. My handle is nancyforcd5. And I am, when you go to nancyforcd5.com, you'll get all of the information. You'll get a list of my involvement with the district, and my candidate involvement as well. And I've been endorsed by Chris Fields, our past chair Carlton Crawford, and our Senate District Chair Candace Othout. So I come with some great people behind my back, and we are all willing to hit the ground running if I'm elected chair. And our 5th CD convention is March 23rd. Tentatively at the Minneapolis Convention Center.
Has that ever been confirmed?
Well, it's on the MinGOP site.
Oh, okay.
So hopefully we will.
That was another issue.
But it is March 23rd. I do know that. And Dennis, you're on the executive committee, so I think you probably know more than me. But that's what
Don't count on it.
Well, I'm showing up
that
anyway.
That is going to change if I'm elected. The communication will be open again. That's the biggest loss of opportunity of all, is that people just are asking what is going on in 5, and that will not happen under my watch.
Well, one thing you forgot to mention is that you've been a long-time volunteer on this show. I didn't see that on there.
Yeah.
You see that on her website?
When this gets reprinted, I will add it in.
They'll look at that and go, who the hell is that guy, is probably what they'll say.
No, they won't.
Okay, so nancyforcd5.com.
Correct.
We have the floating convention, we'll call it, for March 23rd. So if does CD5, so we still don't have a website for CD5?
CD5's website was back up. However, there was a vice chair who was not satisfied with the content, and she went to the state party. She got up another website. She said, here are the two addresses. Pick which one you think is more helpful to the electorate or to the masses. And they picked cd5.com, or mingopcd5.com, and which you can access through the state party website.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you folks here, check out Nancy's website. Become a Facebook fan. Check her out. Follow her on Twitter. I don't know what the hell else I'm saying, but we only got a few seconds left. So good luck, Nancy.
Thank you so much, Andrew.
Yep.
Thank you, Dennis, for what you've done.
Thank you for running.
Thank you.
All right, another show in the can, on its way to my greatest hits museum. We'll see you next time. So long.
Thank you.